Hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Success Code, where conscious leadership meets business and real talk, y'all. Business and real talk. And boy, this has been a week, let me tell you. So I'm super excited to be here with you all today. And today we're gonna bust up some myths. We're gonna have some conversations. Y'all know we roll up in here. You know how we roll. So just come be with us. I want you to get your pens and papers ready because my guest today, Miss Allison Chavez, she is just a ball of joy. She is Miss Prosperity herself, and today we're going to talk about the idea of prosperity. So I'm excited to have this conversation because I know, coming from Jamaica, the idea of prosperity was a bunch of things, a lot of things. So I want to see what Allison is going to debunk in my myths from the myths that I grew up with, right? And I want you to also look into your life and see the parallels or where you get to unlearn some things so that it'll move you forward. The idea is to move you forward, right? The idea is to give you information, give you clarity so that you can create anew and create momentum so that you can build the life that you love. So, without further ado, because y'all know I could talk, I am going to go ahead and introduce Allison Chavez. And Allison, you takes a moment and just tell the audience who you are, who you be in the world, and then we'll take it from there and start our
Oh,
conversations.
beautiful. I love it. Lorna, first and foremost, thank you so much. I'm so honored and privileged to be here. Anytime that I can share a little bit about my story, hopefully it will bless somebody's life. And I'm a talker too, as you know, so I'm very excited. But
What
I'm
does she mean,
Allison.
Kristen?
we're soul sisters with that. I am Allison Chavez, and I'm known as the obedient rebel, and that's who I be in this world. I love that question. Who do I be in this world? I also love I am Miss Prosperity myself. Oh yeah, I will claim that as well. I've been in the online space for almost 13 years. I've been an entrepreneur for almost my entire adult life, and I built my company to multiple six figures in a short amount of time with all of the quote rules of success that we've been taught. Lots of hustle, lots of grind, um, stretch your comfort zone, which is that one was legit, massive amounts of anxiety. And what I found beyond the 30 grand a month that we were making was I couldn't sleep. 45 extra pounds had found their way onto my butt. I couldn't be present with my four kids. I felt mom guilt. I felt wife guilt. And I was like, this is success because this is garbage. so
Mm.
and so I decided to become the obedient rebel, and obedient rebels obey the laws with a capital L, but they break their rules. And
Ooh, girl, we're gonna go there today?
sweet.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And when I started doing that, I teach the practicality of quantum leaping and how to actually do it.
Mhm.
And by doing that, obeying the laws and breaking my rules, I like quadrupled my business. I went from, God, what do we make? $230,000 in 6 months. I went from 6 clients to 97. I shed 45 pounds. The mom guilt was gone for the most part. The wife guilt was gone. But do you know what was the best of all? I felt alive again. It was
Mm.
filled with ease and joy and flow. And I was like, I have to teach my sisters how to do this. This is amazing.
Wow, that is so amazing. I'm glad you're talking about this because um, there are a lot of coaches out there that I know who would say that there's no such thing as building a business with ease, right? That it's the hustle, it's the grind. You gotta go 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 go, and that's one of the things that's always coming up on this show is the difference between working hard and working with ease, right? I believe there's a distinction around that. So you kind of gave the answer to what success means to you, but can you go any deeper in that? What does success mean to you, like on a soul level? What does that mean to you?
Success to me means did I move the needle forward on my expansion just a tiny bit that day? That's success to me. Did I feel lit up by anything today? That's success to me. I let it be really, really simple because the world taught me and business taught me that success doesn't, you're not successful until you hit six figures, but no, you're not successful till you hit multiple. Actually, no, you're really not successful till you hit seven figures. Actually, no, I mean, it, and I believed that myth and chased, and I was miserable. So I was like, how about I just stop sacrificing myself and my identity on the altar of quote unquote success and redefine my rules of what
Yeah.
success is and let it be simple and let it be attainable.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because what I just heard you say is success is being present.
Yes.
Because you said it two times, I think. And what I heard was success is being being present, moving the needle today,
Mhm.
right? Because
Mhm.
tomorrow isn't guaranteed,
Exactly.
right?
Tomorrow doesn't even exist. Not
Is
yet.
it? Not yet. Okay. All right. So we want to talk about the myths around prosperity today. So I guess the question then becomes, what is prosperity to you?
Prosperity to me encapsulates all of the most meaningful cornerstones in our life,
Mhm.
the things that actually matter to us. So it's our relationships, it's our connection with God or our spirituality, it's our health, and it is financial as
Mhm.
well. But
Mhm.
prosperity is not just financial and not just material. When
Mhm.
you have prosperity, you feel fulfilled in all of those areas of your life. That's what prosperity is to me.
Yeah, I love that. Um, and there's a conversation out there that prosperity is a state of mind, right?
Uh-huh.
You can be prosperous in your own way of being, and because you are prosperous in your own way of being, then everything else flows from that. What do you say about that?
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. And prosperity is also a state of being. So if we can take it one step a little bit deeper, it's
Mhm.
not just a state of mind, but when you can embody it, when you can get it out of your mind and into your body, where your body feels safe in prosperity, that's when things really start magnetizing to you. But yeah, it starts on the inside. Absolutely. You'll never feel prosperous if you're waiting for the material thing to show up before you give yourself permission to feel and be and think about prosperity.
How do you think people get to shift from that way of thinking though? Because that's such a an ingrained thing in our society, in our families, in our cultures, even across cultures,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if there's a way to um, short circuit that.
Oh yeah, there is. And
It's
it's
an
really
awakening.
simple.
I think it's an awakening, but is
It,
there? What would you say
well,
is a way to?
I agree with that, but I also think that awakenings can feel very esoteric to people, and
Mhm.
so they're like when am I awake? Like sometimes I'm awake and like I'm conscious throughout the day, then I'm unconscious, and then I'm conscious, and then I'm unconscious, and I'm like, wait a minute here, and
Yeah.
so I think we wait for this great awakening because we have that conditioning and that programming that we're not powerful, and that we have to wait for something outside of us to give us permission to awake or to be prosperous. And that's where the obedient rebel comes in. You get to rebel against the programming, you get to rebel against the conditioning. And is it ingrained? Yeah. Is it easy to change? Actually, yeah. That's how powerful we are as creators. You change it with a decision. That's how
Mm,
you change it. That's the start. When you decide that no matter what my outer circumstances are telling me, I live in prosperity. I live in relaxation all throughout the day, and I'm supported all throughout the day. Your
mm,
brain will automatically, I mean, let's talk about a little bit of neuroscience and a little bit like a physiology of what's going on. Your
yeah.
brain wants to find evidence to support it because your brain will only give you evidence for what you're believing in, and belief is just a decision. So we're going to make a new decision that I live in prosperity every day, and then we're going to look around. Oh my goodness, we have an internet connection. Holy cow! Oh, I am so prosperous. Look at that. God loves me so much. He wants me to be rich. This is already proof that I'm rich. I'm on a seat that has not collapsed underneath me. I'm supported all the time. And it sounds very simplistic, but I cannot overemphasize how foundational it is and how quickly you can start to change and quantum leap towards that life you really want by doing those things. It's about mental ownership. It's about claiming your power. It's about claiming your greatness, not in an arrogant or conceited way, but like come on, we are so powerful. We are so powerful, and we've just been programmed, which is why we get to deprogram and reprogram ourselves into really trusting our greatness rather than our smallness that people tell us we have.
Yeah, I I know that, there's a reason why we're soul sisters. One of the things I talk about all the time, even before that decision piece, is the fact that the awareness gets to step in, right?
Yes.
Because there's so I'll tell you, even this morning, just this morning, my son sends me this video about Russia and Germany and all the things that are going on, and and I'm thinking to myself, okay, do I allow this? Because I'm now aware, right?
Uh-huh.
Do I allow this? Do I watch this video and have it impact my day, or do I just not watch it, right? So, and that's how you, when I hear you talk about decision, that's how I'm interpreting making the decisions every moment of the day. Once you become aware of this new way of being, of thinking, then you got to decide what you're going to take in, right? Because
Yes.
life is going to keep life in.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And it's going to keep on lifing the way it's been lifing for centuries and millennia, which is about fear and lack and scarcity and danger and all of the things. And that's I mean, really, there is so much beauty in that because God loves us so much that we get to choose. We get to
Yeah.
choose on every single level. Are we going to lean into the fear, or are we going to lean into the faith? Are we going to lean into the lack, or are we going to lean into the prosperity? And we get to choose that. And by the way, like, I get to choose this every day as well. And because the like society and the media is so pervasive and so pernicious and insidious, like, it's very difficult to get away from it, especially because we're addicted to drama. And so when we just understand that, but then realize, oh man, I bought into this. Oh shoot, I started getting mad about the price of eggs too. Well, I have plenty of money to buy eggs, and I know not everybody does, but like, come on, there are things that are really easy for people to buy, regardless of what the economy is telling us is going on. And so I had to get very, very disciplined with myself about what I was going to watch online, because it's so easy to believe any of those narratives that make you feel scared.
Yeah. The fear tactic is so, like you said, pervasive. It's like, oh my gosh, like, really? Like, do you guys even? But then that's the power that we give away, right?
Exactly.
That's the power that we give
Mhm.
away to
Mhm.
others about, and it's, Allison, it's I don't even know how to say this. So let me think on it. It's like thinking. Just start thinking instead of just moving all the time. Pause and start
Yes.
thinking and
Yes.
ask different questions, right?
Yes. Yes. And here's the distinction between thinking and analyzing. Most people don't think. Thinking is a creative act.
Mhm.
Analyzing is when we're just so immersed in whatever the problem or the issue is that we look at it from all different angles and try to pick it apart from all different angles. That's not actually thinking, because it keeps us in that same vibration. When we
Right.
get into that higher vibration, even just a tiny bit higher of, could there be a solution to this? What might I do? How would I prefer to feel? Now you're in creativity. Now you're really using your brain for what it's designed for, which is to create your reality.
Yeah. And that's a responsibility piece as well, because
Yes.
then you're
Mhm.
responding to a different energy. we can have a whole workshop on that one.
We should.
So I want to step into the energy piece of prosperity, because prosperity, I believe, is it's about also learning to receive, right? We're
Oh,
such
yeah.
I want to take a moment to talk to the women who are watching, the women who are going to be watching the replay on this. This piece is for you because again, hopefully by now we've debunked the myth that prosperity is just about the things, right? It's just about
Mhm.
the big goal. It's just about acquiring tangible things. I hope that myth is busted by now and you get to determine for yourself what prosperity looks like, just like you get to determine what success looks like, right?
Yep.
And I want to talk about prosperity and receiving right now, because I think that that's a huge piece of the puzzle that
Yes.
most people don't talk about. What do you want to bring into the conversation around that?
Well, especially for high achieving women, receiving is very, very difficult. And in fact, most high achieving women that I have talked to will not allow themselves to receive because they've been wired to give. Except they've been wired in their brain to give, not their body to give. So let me flesh that out just a little bit. We can talk about the feminine and the masculine energy, and this is
Yes.
a cycle. The giving receiving cycle is exactly that. It's a cycle. The masculine energy of giving is the is the push, it's the outer. And then the feminine cycle of receiving is the inner. We're actually wired the opposite as women. We're meant to receive first and then we can give. Now, this doesn't mean that we never ever give, but what happens when we give and we don't balance those two cycles and all we're doing is giving, we continue to give until we're running on fumes and we keep giving out of obligation and guilt and resentment and
Yeah.
martyrdom. And then we're in this really icky energy that nobody likes. But if we will allow ourselves to receive first, because we're built to receive, it fills us up very quickly. And it's anything that gives you pleasure, anything that you enjoy. It might be a 5-minute nap. It might be a great piece of fruit. It might be reading a book. I mean, it doesn't have to be like I've got to have 3 weeks of receiving before I can possibly give. It actually fills us up really, really quickly. And then we can give from our overflow, because this is the way we're built. It bubbles up inside us and then it like goes effervescent and then it just comes out. Like we can't help it and we love it. And suddenly we want to give and we want to serve and we're reaching out to others and what can I do for you today? And how can we connect? And now we're in the proper energy because we've got the energies balanced and we're in the proper cycle of the receiving and the giving. Receive means experience. And I think this is what our high achieving women have a hard time grasping. I know I did, that
Yeah.
to receive means to experience. And if you aren't present, you can't experience. So if you're always thinking 2 steps ahead and what do I need to give over here? And who do I need to give to over there? And like all of those things, you cannot be present. So
Yeah.
when you're in the moment, listening to a beautiful piece of music or dancing or moving your hips or whatever it is, you're in your body, you're in the present, you are experiencing, you are receiving. And if you just play with it for just a minute, I can already feel it. You
Yeah.
will feel your energy, like literally you'll feel your vitality move
Yeah.
up and your life force expand. And then the ideas will come of, oh, how can I find, like the solutions will come faster. This is one of the ways you bend time and space.
Time. Yep. That's the
Like
quantum, right?
life gets magical in very practical ways.
Yeah. I love this conversation because it was just yesterday. I know you know Mel. Me and Mel had a call. So I was going through the day. It was a really great week. And yesterday I felt like, okay, Lorna, you need a nap in the middle of the day. And that's not my norm. But what happened was yesterday, then I felt like, okay, I need a nap. And I took the nap. And when I got up, I was like, that felt so good. And then I got on the call with Mel. And I'm like, okay, girl, I got to share this with you because it was so good. And I'm going to put it into my calendar because now I know that that can be a strategy as well, right? Like
Yes.
just giving me that space. And then when it was so relieving that I could, it's like I got another wind when I started
Yeah.
after the nap, right? So
Yeah.
that is I want to tell especially high achieving women, you've got to find what works for you and stick with it. It's
Yes.
like you said, Allison, it collapses time. And who doesn't want to collapse time? Because then you have more time to do the things that you want to do, to be with your loved ones, and you don't feel, you know, you don't feel like you're giving up yourself to be, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I've been there. So oh, I remember back in the day in real estate, there were times I was sharing, just yesterday I was sharing with somebody, and I was saying, um I was always on the phone when I was on vacation. I went up into the, like, we were at a hotel. I went up to the room and I said, I'll be back. I'm just going up to the room for a second, because I was gonna go work, you know?
Uh-huh.
How many women are doing that still, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And missing out on the memories that they get to create, whether for themselves, if you're single, or with your family, if you go on vacations with your family. Like, these are the things you got to figure out what's your high value and work within it, So,
Agreed. Agreed. And so my intuition jumped on when you a one word you said, which was strategy. Can we talk about that for just a second?
let's go.
You talked about, you used your nap as a strategy, and as high achieving women, we need to we get to do workarounds and get into our brain through the back door, because
Yeah.
we love strategy. We're addicted to strategy. We're like, maybe this will work, maybe that will work, let's try it and see. And so if we can use strategy, and we can change our perspective as a strategy, and see if that brings in more money, or if that gives us more energy throughout the day, like, call it a strategy. Absolutely. Because then your conscious mind will calm down a little bit, and it won't tell you how lazy you're being and that you just need to push through.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
so we want to work with our brain. We don't want to work against our brain. But if this is our strategy, we need to try this strategy, and we need to test it. We need to
Yes.
test it, and so we can't just do it once and see. We don't do a business strategy just once and see. Like, we have to test it, and we have to take a look at it and see. And then we're like, oh, okay, this has worked and this is great, or no, this is garbage. We're going to toss this thing out. But if tell yourself strategy, this is a strategy I'm going to use, because you can be successful in hustle and grind. We have
Mhm.
all been successful in hustle and grind. That will always be an option. You can
Yeah.
always go back to that strategy, but you're in this place now where your soul needs more fulfillment than what the current rules have given you.
Yeah.
And so, like, you're accomplished, but you're like, but at what cost? Like, hello. So yeah, you can always go back to that strategy. Let's try a new strategy. Let's try
Yeah.
a strategy of ease. Let's try a strategy of trusting your intuition.
Yeah.
Let's try that strategy of slow down to speed up. But how about slow down to create white space, so you're no longer doing the heavy lifting? This is called leverage. We're leveraging our gifts. We're leveraging ourself.
Yeah.
I'm highly spiritual. I'm deeply religious. I talk to God all day, every day, and he wants to do the heavy lifting, and I want him to do the heavy lifting, because I've done it and I'm tired of it.
Yeah. 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 So if you're out there and you're saying you're tired, this is a strategy you can
Yes.
take it on and see if it supports. For me, it created white space, number one, and it's not just white space in my environment, on my calendar, all the things, right? It
Mhm.
created a real estate space in my head,
Yeah.
right? And that's how the creativity can flow in.
Mhm.
Because we talked about thinking before. We're always thinking, we're always analyzing, we're always, something's always going on in your head.
Yes.
Something's always going on in your head.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that you got to find ways to relieve that pressure off your brain, so that the creativity can flow, can flow, can flow.
Yes.
Um, this is so important. That's why I'm even slowing down my tone, because I want people to really listen to what we're saying.
Mhm.
This is the piece of the puzzle that is so overlooked And it's one of the things that I'm going to stress on at my 3-day event in June, because it's a huge piece of the puzzle that is so uncomfortable because we're used to the hustle and grind. It's a new way of being that you get to like step into and be okay with it, because you got to create that. You got to build a new muscle in your memory.
Yes.
Say, yeah, this feels good. This is where I'm supposed to be, right? So
Mhm.
this conversation gets to be extended a whole lot. All right,
Yes.
let me. This was so good. I stopped looking at my notes.
You're just you in the moment. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So now I want to step into, I know this is juicy for you too. It's juicy for me. As to how does and it's actually flowing, the role of belief and identity and the nervous system alignment. How does that all play into the idea of prosperity?
That's the absolute foundation of prosperity. Belief work and identity work is absolutely foundational to
Mhm,
greater levels of prosperity in every area of your life,
mhm,
because your brain is a goal achieving machine, and the part of your brain that wants to make those goals your reality really is your subconscious or your unconscious brain. And
mhm,
so the function of the brain is to make the beliefs or the decisions the reality. So if you believe that you have to hustle and grind to get to the next level, then your brain is going to find evidence to support that and will not allow you to do it in any other way. It filters out any other option for you because it's meant to make the beliefs your reality, not your goals your reality, your beliefs your reality. And so if you want to get into that ease and flow, and I know, sisters, that your soul is going, yes, please. And your brain is like, not
yeah,
safe. We've never really done this before for an extended period of time. So there's going to be some of that psychological discomfort, but you must change your beliefs and you must change your identity, because it's literally a different frequency that you need your body to get used to feel safe in, to feel familiar with. And
mhm.
most of us are in survival. Our nervous systems are completely
Shocked.
dysregulated.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're in panic. We're in constant go mode. We can't relax. Our adrenals are shot. Like we've got a chronic disease that's going on. And so what do we do to calm the nervous system down? We breathe.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
breathe deeply. And again, these solutions and these strategies are so simple that our brain is like, I'll do it later. No,
yeah,
what we're
yeah.
going to do
I have
now
better
is
things to do.
yeah, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. I want to sleep every single day.
Yeah, yeah. As we're this is so good, guys. Because what I want people to hear, everything that we talk about on this show, I know I've experienced, and I'm sure you have as well, right, Allison? I
Mhm.
remember not so long ago, actually, I think it was the year before, my adrenals were so shot. When I say shot, so shot that to sleep, when I went to sleep and when I woke up, I felt like I never slept.
Yeah.
Not that I was tired, it was just that my body felt like it was always like in motion, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
that's the highest level of stress I've ever experienced, right?
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah,
How
absolutely.
did your brain feel? Did your brain feel like, no, we're okay, this is good? Or was your brain stressed out as well?
You know, when I look back at it, I think I felt not good, but I pushed through,
Ah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
right?
I experienced something very similar. Yes. But
Yeah,
my
I
brain
pushed
was
through.
like, well, we're not stressed out.
We're not stressed out, right?
Like, we're okay.
Yeah, and
My
kept
body's like,
going.
uh-huh.
It was that's when I understood what the neurotransmitter dopamine could do to your body,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Can we go there?
Oh, girl, I don't know if we should. that my understanding of what that neurotransmitter can do to your body without you even knowing it.
Mhm.
And that comes back again to the awareness, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because I could have called it something else. I could have called it, oh, because I was feeling stuff in my body that was like, I wonder. And it felt like this and it felt like that, right? I could have gone to the doctor. And guys, let me caveat this next statement. Nothing wrong with going to the doctor. I didn't. I could have gone to the doctor and they could have given me another drug,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? To cover up what was going on,
Hmm.
right? But
Hmm.
I got to stay in that awareness and curiosity and questioning and asking my body to give me the answers. I know it sounds esoteric, but I got to tell you.
No, that is so powerful. That is so powerful. Do we have time for me to share a really quick story about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have time.
So, my brain has been soaked in a vat of exotic butters, which means nothing sticks and everything slides off now. And it's called perimenopause. And I thought perimenopause and menopause was just a hot flash. And I'd never had hot flashes before. I've never in my life had a hot flash, but I couldn't sleep and I was really depressed and I couldn't stop crying. And I had ideations of death, and I don't run those kind of programs in my mind. And I could not sleep. Like if I got 3 hours of sleep at night, that was a miracle. And this went on for months and months. And so it got to critical mass where I ended up there's actually an emergency room for mental health crises, which I didn't know about till I was there. And they were like, all right, we got to get you sleeping. And so they pumped me. They gave me antipsychotics. They put me on antidepressants. They gave me gabapentin, like all of these things. And I was like, yes, I will do whatever I have to do. I will take it. And it helped for a moment until months later when I'm like, I'm still not sleeping. I'm being sedated, but I'm still not sleeping. And so I would rather be awake all night long and like my body's just, we're going to figure this out together, than be sedated and still wake up as if I hadn't slept. And now I have to fight this drug in my system that's making me super groggy and brain foggy and all of the things. So I think when we have acute situations, and I'm just speaking for me, when we have acute situations, I was like, yeah, let's stop the bleed. But our body is so intelligent. Our body is so miraculous, and our body wants to work with us when we'll be aware and we'll say, okay, what's going on? What do I need to do? And let's work together. That is so empowering. And even though it might take a little bit longer, but man, that made me come back to life. It really did. Not the drugs, but me working with my body again, getting on right supplements and hormones and all of that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because people need to hear this stuff, right?
Yes.
And you get to relate to whatever relates to you and see, because remember, this show is all about busting the myths, right? And I love that you shared that, and you use the word acute, right? Acute situations, go to the doctor, stop the bleed for now, but just don't depend on it. What I'm pointing to is the dependency on the doctors, instead of taking authority and autonomy about building yourself up, building your own body, building you. It's time to take that back. That is prosperity, y'all.
Yes, it is. It is.
Like that is prosperity. You get to create that for you, right? There's nobody else. Ain't nobody coming to save you. I'm telling you, it's time. So
yeah.
Go. You had one
you
more.
said there's nobody else coming to save you, because I believe you've already been saved, and also you don't need to be saved. What came into my mind was advocate. We've always wanted somebody to advocate for us, and nobody advocated for us when we were children, not to the degree that we needed to as children. So now we think that now we get to unlearn and reprogram. Like, no, I get to advocate for myself. Because I'm worth it. I don't have to wait for somebody to look at me and say, you're worth, quote, saving or advocating for. I choose me. I choose. I'm not waiting for anybody else to choose me. I choose me. And I'm going to be the best freaking advocate for myself that I never had and that I always wanted. That is prosperity, sister. That is prosperity. That is empowerment. That is life force expanding in you.
So let's expand on that a little bit more on that thought, because I'm sure the question is going to be, well, how?
Yes.
Because that's the natural question, right?
Yes.
How do I do this? How do I step into a new way of thinking about prosperity for myself? How do I do that?
I love
How do I
that.
operate from a
Yeah.
new way of thinking, a new way of being?
A new way of being. How do I do the B? When my clients first get to me, like, how do I do this? How do I do this? And I'm like, well, we need to kind of back off the doing just a little bit. And we need to, the first thing to do is see how this current version of you responds to life. What do you tolerate? What are you available for? What are you unavailable for? How do your boundaries look? Do you speak up for yourself? Like we got to get a baseline. And we're in massive awareness and zero judgment. That's the key to this. Big awareness, no judgment. But we got to get our baseline. All right. So that next version of me, what do her boundaries look like? How does she view life? What does her perspective look like? What does she no longer tolerate? What, like, and it's not just what does she eat and how does she work out, although that's part of it. But if we want to do the deep soul work that's required in living beyond your imagination in prosperity, we got to ask those soul questions. And then we take one of those questions and we start practicing being her that day. That's the strategy. All right, today I'm going to say no without apologizing. Or today I'm going to listen to my body, and my body says you need to go to the bathroom. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to the bathroom instead of pushing through because I got to get this report done real fast.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. How many of us do that? Like, oh my gosh.
Like, I used to be like, I would hop, I would bounce. And I was like, the bathroom is 5 feet away. What is my problem? Oh, well, it's because we're taught to put ourselves last and not to advocate for ourselves.
Yeah.
So like, let it be simple, but do not be deceived. The simplicity, the genius is in the simplicity, and it will literally change your trajectory
and that's
so quickly.
Yeah, that's the secret. The secret is that it's simple.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Simple. And it's a choice. We talked about that earlier.
Yes.
It's a choice. And I want to make the distinction of choice and decision. It's two different things in my world, right?
Okay, tell me about that.
Because you can choose it. You can say you choose it, but did you really choose it, right? Versus decision, right? Coming from the root word desire, which is meant to cut off all other possibility.
Yes.
Right? So these are the distinctions that you really got to be present to when you're making these transitions from one way of being to the next. Yeah?
Yes, because go on.
The power is in both. You can decide, right? Cut off all possibility, but you got to choose to decide.
Yes.
You got to choose to decide, because you got to choose it. When you choose it, okay, I'm going to do it. Got it.
And then there's one other piece to it that I believe is the magic to it. You commit to the decision.
Add the sauce.
We're gonna put a little bit of hot sauce on it. You commit to the decision. You commit to the decision, not the how, not the strategy. You commit to the decision.
Yes. Right.
That was so powerful for me.
Let me tell you, this is why we are in this world, right? This is why we're in the transformation world, because this stuff is like magic pills. When you really understand it, it's like the magic pills, right?
Yes.
Because how many people, let's be real talk, right?
Mhm.
how many people talk about commitment, right? Oh, I'm committed, I'm committed, I'm committed, and then nothing,
Tomorrow. I'm committed tomorrow.
right? And that's so good because the commitment piece will be so strong once you make the decision. Because remember, that's why I gave you the definition of decision, right? It's to
Mhm.
cut off all other possibility.
Mhm.
That means like I don't care how you feel, I don't care what's going on. You do a both and if you have to, right?
Yes.
Then the commitment now sticks.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I have a mentor years and years ago who had a saying that I live in commitment regardless of thoughts, moods, feelings, or emotions. And you can put that with anything. I live in
Absolutely.
peace, I live in relaxation, like whatever it is that you're wanting to grow that muscle. But if we're wanting to
Yeah, yeah,
grow that commitment muscle, I live in commitment regardless of thoughts, moods, feelings, and emotions because
yeah,
it does. And our brain is so beautiful. Our brain is so wonderful. It just wants us to keep us alive. It wants
yeah,
us to survive. It really doesn't care if we thrive or not. That's not its goal. Its goal is to keep us alive. Our spirit's goal is for us to thrive and expand and all the things. And
yeah,
so when you when you make the decision and you commit to the decision, that's part of your new identity. Like part of this whole like fixing my adrenals and fixing the brain fog and all of that is I am in a complete like clean eating gut detox going on right now. And the first couple of days, my body was like, "Oh, but we miss frosted wheat," which is so gross. But well, what about all the sugar and blah? And then I was like, "Well, wait a minute. Am I a woman who poisons her body with that and continues to live in brain fog, or am I the woman who makes sure her nutrition is really clean because it's really important that she has a very very sharp intuition because I got a big mission here. Who am I in this?
mm,
Am I going to whine about this or am I going to?" And it was so easy once I made that decision that no, I'm her. I eat clean, I live clean, I move my body, I rest. And then it was like, oh, yeah. And then the body gets on board. Now, that's not to say that last night I wasn't like, man, I want something sweet, but I got some honey and a little bit of almond butter and it was fantastic. But
yeah.
there's so much power in the decision. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. There's always workarounds. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
you know, I'm glad we had this conversation, and I wish we had more time to go into the other piece that we didn't get to, which is the emotional piece. Because you get to prosper emotionally, right? So
Yes, yes.
all the things that we have spoken about, the emotion is the undertone because we emotion is just energy in motion. How we respond to anything is just the energy that we're giving the thing, right? So
Yes,
um
yes.
just be aware of that. And as you're going through these states and these invited changes that we're inviting you into, keep that in mind. You can always reach out to any of us. We will support you in the transitions. If you're choosing to live from a different state of prosperity, it's possible. It's here for you. It's if you want it, it's available to you. You just there's just certain things you got to go through. You got to walk through to
Mhm.
get to the other side, right?
Yes,
And we're
yes,
here to support that. So,
absolutely.
Allison, we're just around complete with our time together today. I just want to let you know I have so much fun talking to you because um you're like my mirror, right?
Mhm,
These
that's how I feel about you.
these conversations are deep conversations, I know, but I really hope that they weren't heavy, that you can't listen because this is, if you go back and listen to this 3 times, is what I would recommend, and just see what you resonate with, what you think needs to, and I don't like using the word need, what you get to shift for yourself,
Mhm.
whatever resonate that you get to shift for yourself, take action on it. And it's not a hustle action, it's an awareness and an implementation, right? It's an awareness and an implementation.
Yes.
Awareness, implementation, and then track it. Track how things are going and how things are working. Track how your money starts flowing. Track how your relationships start shifting. Track everything. right? And then come
Oh,
back in and
thank you.
share with us how it worked for you,
Yes, please. We would
right?
love to hear it and celebrate you.
Yeah, absolutely. So post in the comments. I'm always coming back in and looking at the comments in here to hear how these episodes have been impacting your life, because that's the intention, y'all. The intention is to debunk the myths. And the only way for me to track that this is working is if you come in the comments and share what's happening with your life as you're listening. So, Allison, before we wrap up, tell people what's happening, where they can reach you, and all the good stuff.
Oh, thank you. This has been the best conversation. You can visit me on my website, AllisonChavez.com. I also very frequently do a free online workshop. It's called The Obedient Rebel's Guide to Quantum Leaps. Would love to connect with you there. And you can go to www.prosperityapproach.com/obedient rebel rising. You can also get my best-selling book, where is it? The Prosperity Approach. That's on Amazon. And I also have a podcast on YouTube called The Prosperity Approach. So find me there, connect with me. We're sisters, we're friends. Like, let's do this together. Let's link arms and do this together.
Absolutely. All right, y'all, we're going to say peace out for this Saturday. As usual, I want you to like, subscribe, share. We want other people to hear these conversations, because the more of us who tap into these conversations is the more we're going to shift the consciousness of the planet, and the more the change is going to happen. So like, share, and subscribe. Make comments in the chat so we can see that things are working. And I want you to come back next week, and let's continue our fireside chats, because we're making a difference in the world, and we want you to go out there and also make a difference. Okay, here's the last thing I'm going to say. I'm doing an amazing masterclass this Wednesday that you get to be on as well. So if you're listening to this, look for the link in the description of this video, and I'll see you in that masterclass. Have an amazing Saturday and the rest of the weekend, y'all. And I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Oh.